All right, everybody, look at the camera and wave. You're on stream right now.
Oh no!
Look at the camera and wave. Say hi, everybody. Allison's so happy. Here's the camera. Y'all look at the camera and wave, everybody. Well done. Well done. There we go. We're getting some food, and then we're gonna have discipleship.
Sometimes we can choose which one they like. I already played all my pudding. I have already audited them twice.
You might say over 9,000 even. Mountain Dew.
Hi. You got it there. The IRS has audited me twice. I've already paid all my pudding costs. Oh, this is crazy. This is way
Just chicken. I think it's Peter Porker.
Okay, that one was a little. At least you guys me and Silas laugh at people screaming and then getting cut off by it.
No.
Did you already get some mac and cheese? Okay, you want some chicken? Yes, please.
I don't have a plate.
I'm gonna give you a few pieces again. And then sometimes yes.
Chris, are you satisfied? But you have a day off tomorrow, Emery.
You see, what I do is I get a small portion of goat and then I drink so much caffeine my body.
Why would I ask you if you have a balance? That's so weird. Like, you know.
Richard, that was last week. Richard, that was last week. You're off by like the.
Get it all together.
If I say what I want to say, I will buy
Chicken.
Mentioned in my
About
sermon. That's good.
I think I've seen. She had black
We'll eat mac and cheese by
I do what?
Have you ever eaten mac and cheese?
Yes, like this.
No, they're bare hands.
Did you buy it?
Yes, I already have this entire.
Apparently just like
Yeah, I need more mac and cheese. So that with that.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
There's some mac and cheese.
cheese.
And actually, the broccoli is both some actually on top of it.
That's the best.
No.
Broccoli and cheese together.
No.
They should go
Okay,
next.
he wants
Yeah.
extra.
Wait, Brady.
No. Cause my other food basically just
Extra
always,
spicy. That's peppers.
there's one guy
Move the table.
racist. That's the best way to put it.
Objective.
One of the girls there just continuously talks about things that you shouldn't stuff. And then there's Kira, who's like that, who's rather normal. Kira is one of my real.
And then feel free, y'all get some of these snacks and.
That's weird.
Oh.
However, she is currently the cause of the fall of my entire friend group, so.
You have friends? I don't know if that's right.
Hey, speaking of friends, what's Wednesday?
Bring a Wednesday.
Bring a friend to church day.
Bring a friend to church.
Go see if I can bring Jana. I want to bring Jana. I want Jana to call you Richard.
Go ahead.
Richard. Every time I see Richard in your I just call him Richard. I don't know.
Thank you, my friend.
Richard.
What happens if you bring the most friends?
What?
You got a high
You
five.
win.
High five. What?
Slap in the face.
That's a loss again.
Once again.
Richard, did you lose the game?
I'm trying to scare you.
What?
You lost the game.
No, he's scared.
I didn't hear what you said.
Did you lose the game?
Never.
You lost the game.
Nope.
Richard, I will go back and I still have that video. I literally drank a whole jug. I picked up a shotgun and I
It's not my fault you use aimbot.
Whoa. Whoa. Calm down, Jamal. Don't fall the arm.
I mean, I can go back in the corner. I can hear myself giggle.
Yeah.
I can hear myself only losing. That's what I'm losing. Losing something. My cats are slowly eating my will.
For a second, I thought you said my cats are eating a whale. Do you have a whale?
I mean, they broke a whale.
Do you have a pet whale?
No, it was an ornament whale in my bathroom.
You have a whale in your bathroom?
Yes,
Wow.
we have an entire whale in the bathtub. It's his bathroom.
That's impressive.
He just hangs out in
You
there.
got a big one.
Sometimes he just disappears. We don't know where he goes. And then in Jeffrey.
He slides down just a picture right.
Jeffrey the whale. Sounds about right.
In our house, everything is named Jeffrey. If we get legal naming rights to something, its name is Jeffrey now.
I will never get rid of him.
Nice.
All the 32 dead spiders in my sister's room, yeah, they're all Jeffrey.
Imagine you get a big sister. Oh, what's your name?
I.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Gregory. This is just what? When the little girl, just Gregory.
See that?
Thank you for the chicken, popcorn chicken. Thank you. It's good. Thank you, Will, for serving.
Wednesday? You stand up and say it? Hallelujah.
Wait, what?
I dropped the organic opener into the soda.
Silas did the impossible.
What? I always
He opened this and it shot him.
Be
I
careful while
always
doing
tear
it.
it off.
You don't want to destroy your organs.
I'm gonna.
Hey, why is there red?
All right. I have a question. All right. What is one thing you're looking forward to this week?
School ending. DQ.
Test. No, I'm just kidding.
DQ. What's DQ?
Dairy Queen.
When you going to Dairy Queen?
Jared.
Every now and then.
All right.
You mean every Wednesday?
Oh, Dairy Queen.
All right. What about you guys over here? What is one thing that y'all are looking forward to this week?
Not being busy. No.
There you go.
I'm giving a speech on Thursday.
Awesome.
You know when it's over?
No.
Bethesda Game Studio.
Oh my God. What class is this in? There you go.
I had to get the comic strip as well.
Have I ever been okay?
Oh,
I'm just saying no.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
he was okay for a little bit, and then he, developed his own personality. I went downhill from there.
And then I went.
And so, all right. What is one thing, and you can't just say school, what is one thing that you are dreading this week? You have to give me a specific reason.
Okay, the place that I go to learn. Going back to school.
Waking up to go.
Having to drive in the cold to school. You. Wow. Hello.
Wow.
So,
Hey, let's make sure we use our manners.
Excuse me.
So what is something that you're dreading to have to deal with this week? And you cannot say, listen, you cannot say school. You have to say like, I've got a test at school or dealing with a certain, you don't have to say the issue. You can just say, I just got an issue at school I'm dreading to deal with this week.
I got a good one.
What?
This one.
Huh?
This thing right here.
Braces?
Abomination.
ooh, I'm going. I'm actually excited for Thursday because I'm going to the eye doctor and they're going to tell me if I'm more blind than I was last year, which I'm pretty sure I am. I'm ready to determine how blind I am.
All right.
I'm starting to wish Dad took you.
All right.
Stop.
Did y'all enjoy that very important, very serious video we watched last week?
Yes, can we watch it again?
I do not know.
We're not gonna watch it again, but
It gave me so much info though.
I know. Enough with that.
It was informative.
It was
It
informative.
was for chicken.
Do what?
It was for chicken.
Yes.
I was offered chicken.
All right. Look, we're gonna get started, and I have a question because we're talking about tonight. It's the big idea I want us to kind of grasp hold of is the idea that integrity can withstand justice. We've been talking about justice kind of all month through our group Devo and through our conversation on Sunday nights, with the exception of last Sunday night. I just wanted to have some fun with y'all and show you that video and have a brief conversation with y'all about it. But we've talked about how kind of like how we can hold on to hope when there's an injustice. And tonight we're going to talk about how our integrity can help us withstand injustice. And so I want to start off with this question. The question for you is, what is the dumbest lie you've ever told?
You said hurdle.
That you didn't cut your hair, okay? All right. What else, Logan? That you brushed your teeth. That is kind of when did you tell that lie today? Oh, okay. All right, Malachi.
This is a true lie from kindergarten. I said to a kid once, my brother stared at the sun for 3 hours and looked away and was fine.
All right.
We have not done that.
All right. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right. What about you guys over here? Dumbest lie you've ever told?
Probably like looking someone right in the face and saying, I don't know, when I did know.
Like your mom. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've lied. I've said that to my mom. All right, Jarrett.
It's not that I've ever told, it's just that it's like a general stupid lie.
All right.
Literally, like, did you move your Dr. Pepper can? No.
Okay, that's weird. All right, Brayden.
So this is a true one. I decided to try to lie to my dad. I broke my truck. He's like, so what'd you do? And I was like, I took off too hard and spun the tires. And obviously, I did not take off and try to spin the tires because my foot was on the brake and the gas.
That's funny.
And it was further down the gas than the brake. And when you do that, your tires spin. Sometimes with an old truck, it shreds into a million pieces.
Yeah.
Emotional damage. Oh, I did burn it, but it only went for about a foot, and then it shredded into
All right.
pieces.
All right. Silas, dumbest lie you've ever told?
Okay, the best lie.
Yeah. No, the dumbest, not the best. I want the dumbest.
So like the most obvious that it's a lie.
Sure.
Okay, the dumbest lie you've ever told. That's the question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this.
Okay, I'm going to go on to another question. What do you think? Is it ever okay to lie? Here's the other part of this. You have to defend your answer. Is it ever okay to lie?
Can I answer
All right.
Can I answer this, please?
I'm going to start with Emery. Emery shot her hand up like a rocket. I'm a little bit nervous about what the answer is going to be.
It's actually a really good one. Okay, so it is okay to lie under certain like situations, because if someone asks you like where you live, you're not going to tell them your exact address. You just tell them you live in Arkansas.
Or you can say
Where do you
no.
live? That's not a lie.
I live in a house.
All right. So you think that if it's a stranger danger, they ask you where you live, it's okay for you to lie.
Yeah.
Don't be specific about it.
Okay. All right, Will. What would you say?
Well,
You could say none yet.
the only actual good time is good to lie if like someone's looking for your friend and they have like really bad intentions. But other than that, like, nah.
All right.
A wise man once said, facts don't care about your feelings.
All right.
He did
All right.
say that.
All right. Allison.
When someone asks you a question and you don't really want them to know you or another person's business, or like you don't go that much into detail, so you just
All right. Ethan.
You're like in the US government and you're spying on enemy territory and you infiltrate their
How do you know? Why do you know? How would you know, Ethan?
I'm actually trying to be serious. You
Ethan,
infiltrate their ranks as a
answer
spy and you lie. You say,
I am
from the Soviet Union, and of course you're not.
Okay.
Spying in Soviet
I
Union.
can
Jacob.
Clarification. What's the difference between lying and amending the truth?
Lying and amending the truth?
What?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I was thinking like lying is just flat out lying, but
Hey, y'all listen.
like amending the truth is more like saying it's like saying something that's mostly true, but there's like just a little bit of not truth in there, just so you throw them off.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like saying I have 2 quarters or I have 2 coins and they equal 30 cents and one is not a quarter. What are my 2 coins? I'm gonna let y'all think about that one. But anyway, yeah, amending the truth, like telling the truth, like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars says, what I told you about your dad was true from a certain point of view. There's that idea that truth is kind of almost relative, but the reality of it is that it's a lie is a lie. Now, if you lie to save somebody, we're not kind of talking about is that a good thing to do or not a good thing to do. I would argue if like a stranger asks you where to live, there's a way that you don't have to lie. Just don't say anything at all. And if they follow after you, can say stranger danger, run, go tell a cop, and they'll take care of them. Right? So, but let me ask you this question now, okay? Because we can go in a whole other thing. I wish Noah was here tonight. Noah would give a good
Philosophical answer.
right, he would. Have you ever been accused of lying when you were telling the truth? Anybody want to share the story?
I don't remember it.
Jarrett, all right, y'all listen.
In the middle of math class, I burped without opening my mouth, and they accused me of farting. That was a lie, and they still don't believe me.
I love this because I never know the answers I'm going to get from y'all. That's funny. So, how did it feel when they accuse you of doing something like that? Jarrett, how'd that feel? Embarrassing?
Not really.
All right.
Literally no one cared after that.
Okay. All right. Will.
9th grade English class.
Oh no.
Chris,
All right.
you
Y'all
know
listen.
the one
Y'all
with
listen.
the conviction. The most infamous English teacher in the entire Greenbrier School District. Yeah, I said dang. She thought I said the other version. She's like, did you swear? I'm like, no. And for like a whole minute, we were going back and forth like, did you swear? I'm like, no. She was convinced I was, and I was starting to get irritated. Another day I stepped in his life, say, no, he didn't swear. So I was like, you are so dumb. I didn't say anything. Shut up, Karen.
All right.
Shut up, Miss Dixon.
How did it make you feel?
I was really feeling irritated because she clearly needs hearing aids.
Right. Well, it would be irritating, right? All right, Malachi.
I've got some things similar to Jared. Almost any time someone farts in the cards, like normally blamed on me because there's a scale factor on how.
All right. How does it feel when you're blamed for something and you didn't do it and you say you didn't do it, but you got how's that feel? Does it feel good?
No.
It's in some instances it can be embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about you guys over there? Is there any? I mean, has there ever been a time, or maybe you guys have just been lying the whole time? Just get away, Emma. I'm just kidding. So, when was a time where you were telling the truth and people didn't believe you? How does that feel?
Oh, this was kind of funny.
Okay,
Hold on.
Earlier, mom was looking for a hoodie, and sometimes I take her hoodies, but I did this time because I told her that I
All right.
Her hoodie, you already had it. I had my hoodie that was exactly like her hoodie. Okay, anyway. But she was like, where did it go? And I was like, I don't know, I don't have it. And she was like, look at your dirty clothes. You have to have it. So I was looking, and I was like, Mom, I haven't worn it. And so she goes in her room, and it's on her chair.
All right.
So,
Well, there you go. All right. Now, let me ask you this question. And this is where we're going to turn a little bit more serious, okay?
yes.
In your own words, and if you don't have an answer, if you don't know, I don't want you to say I don't know and try to, this is not a silly moment, okay? But in your own words, if someone says to you, what does integrity mean? What would you say? Silas.
Integrity means to like be honest, basically, like to tell
Okay.
the truth. And
All right.
if you know it's like a safe option.
Okay. And those are good actions about integrity is being willing to speak the truth. Jacob. Doing the right thing when nobody is looking. Okay. That's good. Anybody want to add to that or anything like that? Jared?
I looked it up on Google and I don't even understand what it says.
All right, that's okay. You should just not say anything, right? So in your own words, you know, what is integrity? It's doing it right, like when nobody else is looking, right? It's doing the right thing and standing up for the right thing when nobody else is looking, you know? And it's also standing up and doing the right thing and sticking to that right thing, even when people want to say you didn't do the right thing. Show of hands, how many of you have ever been accused of doing something even though you didn't do it? Don't answer, just show of hands. Does it hurt? Because we want people to, like, when I say I didn't do something, we want people to believe me. Yes, I didn't do it. When we say that we did do something, we want people to believe us that we did do it, right? If we did those things. When we get in trouble for doing what we were supposed to do and for doing the right thing, even though people say we weren't, it gets really hard to remember to keep doing the right thing. It gets really hard, does it not, to want to do the right thing? Like, what's the point if I'm just going to get in trouble anyway? Why should I stand up and do the right thing if nobody believes me? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever felt that way? I know I have. Like, if people are just going to think I'm going to do this, well, I might as well do it anyway. I was talking with this one student I had, and this kid was known as a troublemaker. No matter what he did, it was always he was getting in trouble. And there are things that he just did not do. But because people assumed that he did it, he just went ahead and went along with the fact that he did it, with the idea that he did it. I remember him talking to me about it, and he said, you know, there are times I get tired of that, but it's like, what's the point? Because that's what people expect of me. And that can be very hard and very challenging to keep doing the right thing. But like, for instance, with Joseph, in the story of Joseph, we have in Genesis, if you ever want to look at it at some point, it's Genesis 39, 1 through 23. It's actually the story. We talked about it in our adult Sunday school class. You might have talked about it in some shape or form in your Sunday school class. But Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, and he becomes like the second in command. And he gets involved with Potiphar. This guy is a ruler in Egypt, and he's very influential, and he takes Joseph, and Joseph gets to be in with Potiphar. And Potiphar entrusts him to his whole entire house. Well, Potiphar's wife starts to have these not good feelings towards Joseph. And yet Joseph stood his ground and said, I'm not going to give in. You know, your husband has given me such a responsibility. And he showed integrity throughout the whole entire process. Even when she lied. she lied about the things that Joseph was doing, and he ends up getting thrown into prison. And what you might think is that, well, that would be like awesome grounds to start doing whatever you want to do because you were doing the right thing and you got in trouble for it, right? Have you ever thought of the thing like, I did what I was supposed to do and I still got in trouble, so what was the point? Have you ever felt that way? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a human thing, right? Because we think in terms of like, if I do this, this, and this, then this, and this will work. Like, for instance, we know this to be true with healthy eating. If we eat healthy, we exercise, we watch what we eat, then we will be healthy in our health. We will have more energy. All these things that we know, right? All these things that we've heard, right? And so that's kind of how we think. But when things don't work out, when we're doing the right thing, when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, when we're acting how we're supposed to be acting, when we're speaking the truth, no matter what, and when people don't believe us, it gets hard to want to keep doing that. Now, I have another question I want to ask you, because it's integrity that really matters in those moments. Whether you realize it or not, in those moments when because here's the thing that I say this a lot to like my boys. I say, your sin will find you out. If you're lying, it's going to come a matter of time, some way, shape, or form, it's going to be made to light, right? If you did something that you weren't supposed to do, it's going to be made to light that you did this thing that even though you said, right? So is that not true for y'all? Like, you always usually end up getting caught when you did something wrong. Does that ever happen to y'all? I mean, yeah, you're kind of being recorded in this moment, but that's okay. No, I'm not kidding. It's on me right now, but is that not true? Is that not true how it usually happens? Like, you do eventually get in trouble. Like, for instance, Braden, when he tried to say about how he didn't know what was wrong with his vehicle when he knew full well what happened, what he did, right? His dad found out, right? Yes. I mean, there are times when my parents found out. I told y'all about the time I was trying to hide the cookies and eating the cookies. And my mom said, stop eating the cookies. And I ate a cookie. And my mom said, are you eating a cookie and a mouthful of cookie? I said, no. Lied. I got in so much trouble. If y'all know my mom, you'd think she's the sweetest lady. I can tell you, she would, she got me good. She got me. That's all I can say. She got me good. Okay. But, that's the thing, is that we think we can get away with something, but what usually ends up happening is our sin finds us out. So to be a person of integrity matters so much. Now, I want to ask you, and I want you to share, who is someone in your life that you think has integrity? Who is someone in your life that has integrity? Who is someone in your life that has integrity? I don't want to know who doesn't. I want to know who does. Who is someone in your life that has integrity? Say it again. Your parents? All right. Your teacher? Logan? Teacher and your parents? Malachi?
Jesus.
Okay. Jesus. About you guys over there, who's someone that you know that has integrity? Someone that you know that does the right thing no matter what. Your friend Katie. All right. All right. I love how you are you agreeing with that statement? Yeah.
The fact that she said that, and it was just like, for like 5 seconds.
I think, for me, Brother Steve is someone that has integrity. My wife has the most amazing integrity that I've ever seen. Like,
For sure.
I appreciate you saying that, but my parents, my mom, my dad, people that were mentors to me in my life, they were ones that had just real great integrity. But let me ask you, those people, and you might have thought of someone even though you didn't want to say, but why do you think that they have integrity? Their experience. Okay. Why else? Like Jacob, you said parents. Why do you think your parents have integrity? Because they have kids. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, that will have to give you or break you of integrity. And so that's good that you said they haven't. That's right. Okay. All right. And they do the things in season and out of season, right? Like that your dad is not part of some secret mafia. At least that we not that we know of, right? Yeah.
That's a bit out of the blue, but okay.
But all right.
Are you trying to tell us something?
Now, let me ask you this. Because I think it's safe to say that we at some point, each and every one of us have done the right thing when nobody was looking, how we said we were being truthful and honest. So let me ask you, when you practiced integrity and when you didn't, which of those two was worse? When you didn't practice integrity and you got found out, or when you did practice integrity and you got found out that what you were doing was right? Which one feels worse? Not practicing integrity. That's what I think. Because I mean, think about that. Like when you are doing what is right, a lot of times that will get found out as well. Like if you're not lying about stuff, if you're telling the truth and like somebody doesn't believe you, and then all of a sudden they come to find out it was the truth, that you were telling the truth, that you didn't do the thing that people said you did, that somebody said you did. That's a lot better than when you said you didn't do something and you actually did it. When you said you didn't lie and you actually did. When you said that when you were saying that you were telling the truth, when in fact you flat out were not. In those moments and those consequences, it's always worse. But in the moment, we think it's not so bad, right? In the moment, we think when we're being accused of something, and let's just say lie, because that's kind of what a lot of you had said tonight, was lying. Like when we say lying, when we tell a lie, it feels good in that moment because we think we've really covered it up. We think we've really kind of, bamboozled somebody. Do you ever feel guilty when you lie, though? Does it ever like eat you up? Does it ever like, and then like, if you want to keep the lie going, you have to know the story constantly, right? And you have to make sure that if you say the wrong thing, you have to immediately kind of like, we see it in like funny ways, like, like when we watch something in a movie or a TV show, somebody's lying and they're like, oh no, did I say Monday? No, I meant Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday, and that sort of thing. But like it can be more, it's more complicated to tell a lie than it is to stick with what the truth is. And it eats us up and it makes us feel guilty. And, Joseph was a man, no matter what, he showed integrity. No matter what, he showed integrity. Now, this is what 1 Peter says, and you can open your Bibles to 1 Peter, whether you have it on your phone or you have your actual Bible. I just ask that if you have it on your phone, actually use the Bible app on your phone, not just sit there, but read with me 1 Peter 3, and we're going to be looking at 13 through 17. And this is what Peter, who was a disciple of Christ, who understands like the idea and the regret of that moment. Like, think about this. Who was the one that denied Jesus 3 times?
Peter.
It was Peter. He lied about it. And the more he lied about it, the angrier he got. You ever lie to somebody that you really love and it just kills you that you lied to them? So Peter understands the idea about integrity and the need to have integrity because he knows the other side of that. This is what he says in 1 Peter 3, 13 through 17, and you can read along with me. Who then will harm you if you are devoted to what is good? But even if you should suffer for righteousness, you are blessed. Do not fear them or be intimidated, but in your hearts, regard Christ the Lord as holy, ready at any time to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do this with gentleness and reverence, keeping a clear conscience, so that when you are accused, those who disparage your good conduct in Christ will be put to shame. It is better to suffer for doing good, if that should be God's will, than for doing evil. So what does this passage teach us about integrity? What does it teach us about integrity? Yeah. It's always better to get in trouble for doing good. Which, by the way, doing good is not being ugly at a teacher in a moment of anger towards that teacher. Just so we are on the same page. I don't want you to go in your class on Monday and be like, I'm going to do good. I'm going to yell at this teacher and it's going to be amazing. No, that's not doing good. That's not.
That's called how to get your butt whooped 101 by your mom.
But it is better to be in trouble for doing good than it is for doing the wrong thing or doing or for being not good. Because here's the thing, what matters most is not let me say it like this. It's like how we live our lives is the thing that people remember us most by. If we live our lives, especially if we profess Christ, how we live that life as a Christian makes an impact. Lead singer of a rock group or a rap group called POD. I don't know if you ever heard of them back in the 90s. You know, if you're into that retro rap rock music that the kids used to be into in the 90s. It was like late 90s, early 2000s. Somebody had said, what about when God does not answer your prayers? Like how is it a good, how can anything good come from someone who died of cancer? And the lead singer of POD, his name is Sonny, he said, it's funny that you should say that, because through my mom's life and how she handled the cancer as she died, that I came to know Jesus. What does that show us? It shows us that how we live our lives is a big example of what it means to be a follower of Christ. And if we live our lives with integrity, of doing what we know to be right, of doing what we know to be what God would have us to be, that's the thing that matters. And that's going to leave a ripple effect for good, for God. And isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't that what we as believers, aren't we supposed to lead and point people to Jesus? Yes or no? And we do that with our actions. We do it with our words. So how we live our lives and how we choose to do the things that we do matters. And so even when like everybody is accusing us of doing something we didn't, we are still called to do the right thing. And how do we develop integrity? Well, let me ask you this. How do you get better at anything you do? How do you get better at anything you do? Practice. Emery, how do you become a better dancer? You practice, okay. Emma, how do you become a better softball player? Chris, how do you run faster? Practice. Bryden, how do you hit the baseball harder? Swing harder through what? Working out. Okay, thank you. All right. Jacob, how do you get better at public speaking? Practice it. Practice. Allison, how do you get better at driving?
What does that mean?
I did not know. I did not mean anything. I don't know anything. I don't know. But like, okay, like, because, well, you're a new driver, right? You were nervous. Okay, so you were nervous when you started driving. Man, we had this great moment, didn't we? And then Richard had to go and say, "Oh, Allison." So, okay, so like when you first started driving, were you not nervous? And you were scared, right? Are you still that nervous and scared? Why? Because you've done it a lot. You've gotten used to it. So, how does someone develop more integrity? Practice, working at it. In those opportunities to show the right thing, even when no one else is looking, even if nobody believes that we did the right thing. Integrity can withstand injustice. So a question for you guys to really think about tonight and to put into practice this week is this. What is one area of your life that you need to develop more integrity? Maybe for you, it's, because I think a lot of times when we start thinking about that, we think like, okay, like this is somebody that's really being evil. But maybe for you, the struggle with where you struggle with integrity is gossiping. Maybe for you, where you struggle with integrity is being kind to those that get on your nerves. Whether they're a sibling or a teacher or Billy Bob down the street.
He's a good guy. I've met him.
Maybe for you, the area that you struggle with integrity is nothing. It's not how we define a big lie, but it's something that you've simply been lying about all the time. Maybe for you, the integrity that you struggle with is telling the truth to that person that you have a hard time valuing at all. Maybe it's none of that. Maybe it's something more about yourself, like you've been lying to yourself. Because here's the other thing, we got to show integrity to ourselves and our actions, our responses, and our responsibilities. So what is one area, where do you need to work at in your life, in your integrity? I can't answer that question for you. I can tell you what Peter says is true. That even if you are being attacked, when you're being accused, when people are disparaging you, when they're just kind of ripping you up one side and down the other, regardless of if you do, because you are doing the right thing. In those moments, you have a chance to really shine. And that person that's looking at you may not see it in that moment. But I'm promising you, the people behind them, the people that are in the peripherals, watching this stuff go down, watching the things happen, seeing how you respond, that makes an impact on them. Hearing the things that you say in that moment, that makes an impact on them. The reality is you will never know the actions and the consequences of your actions when you choose to do right. You will more than likely never know the impact that is going to have on somebody's life. But I promise you, we all need to be better people of integrity. We need to be willing to do what is right, no matter how much somebody doesn't believe, even if if you're the type that you've been here and like people just know you to do the wrong thing because you've been doing the wrong thing. The temptation for you might be, what's the point in trying to change? People already think something about me. And I get it. It's hard to get rid of a label. It's hard once you've been painted a certain way to try to be anything different. The thing about it is that for those of us who are called, but who follow after Christ, who are followers of Christ, we are called to live a life of integrity. And so that means that, you may not see anything happening then, but I promise you in time, because we all build up kind of deposits and withdrawals in people's life. Like somebody, and think about this in your own life, like your friend, you have a friend that is on time every time, right? And you have a friend that's late all the time. Are you going to get mad at the person that's on time all the time? No. Why? Because they have proven themselves over and over and over again. Now, you going to get mad at the person that's late all the time? Well, you probably are, because they're always late. They would be, or like the time that they're majorly late, you are harder on them because they're, number one, they have proven themselves to be that sort of person, right? And and that happens. We build up systems of deposits and withdrawals in people's lives. And so the more we build up of integrity in someone's life, the more that image about who we are slowly changes. So the question becomes for you, what is the area of your life that you really need to work on your integrity? And when you feel the need, and when you are tempted in that moment, when people are just saying all kinds to give in and to do the things that you're not supposed to do, just so people will shut up, I want to encourage you to hold on to the truth that integrity can withstand injustice. And that even when everything seems against you, hold on to the hope that you have. Continue to show integrity. That matters. That matters. Let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for just allowing us to be here. Thank you for the conversation that we had tonight. Lord, I pray that we are people of integrity, that the areas in our lives that we need to work on, that we need to lay down at your feet, Father, please help us to do that. Help us this week to show our integrity, whether everybody's seeing or really everybody isn't. Help us to do the right thing, even if it's not the popular thing. And give us opportunities to show integrity in those moments. And it's in your name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. You're all welcome to hang out as long as you want. Glad to have you guys here.